They say never let a crisis go to waste. Hey, welcome back. I hope you're having a great day, no matter what time of day you may be watching this. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever one applies to you. This video really will be a continuation of our last video. In our last video, we pulled up all of my bean plants, all my vines, because there were no beans growing on them. And here's what we have left. It probably doesn't qualify as a crisis. Hey, I didn't get any green beans. However, I didn't get any green beans, so that was complete negative. There was nothing beneficial that came out of that. And there's my phone. Probably somebody let me know my car warranty has expired, or maybe I need to get better Medicaid and Medicare supplemental insurance. This isn't a crisis, but it's not what I wanted. I didn't want to grow bean vines. I wanted to grow beans, so I needed to do something about that. Well, we're going to use this for something. We're going to chop all this stuff up with the mower so it'll be in nice small pieces. I figured that's the quickest, easiest way to do it. Then we're going to add it to the compost bin up here because it is in sore need of some nitrogen to really get that thing going. I've never used the bag on this mower before because I just always let it mulch on itself for the sake of the lawn. I need to start using the bag more often because I can take those grass clippings and put them in the compost bin where they'll be actually more useful. I got the bag down from the top of the storage building here behind me, and we've had some mice problems. They've gotten into some grass seed that I've had. They've gotten into some bird seed that I've had. But here's where they've been living. You can see inside the bag here, they have been taking the grass seed in here, and I'm not sure where they got all that string from to make the beginnings of their nest. They at least got started. Maybe I caught them before they had a chance to finish it. Either way, this is one of the many places they've been living. Here's an unexpected find in my vines as I was cutting them up. I don't know if he found himself in the vines after I threw them on the ground or if he'd always been living in them, but cute little guy. Hadn't seen one like this around here before. There was a lot of jute mixed in with this because the vines had climbed up jute, so I'm sure there's a lot of that wrapped around the spindle of my blade. I'll have to cut that off a little bit later. Not as much of it went into the mulch bag as I thought it would have. You can see here on the ground, it's still pretty thick, so I'm gonna take a rake and rake all this up so it doesn't go to waste. I'm going to flip the mower over as well and scrape all of that because it's good nitrogen that I don't want to go to waste, that I want in that compost bin up there. Oh, safety note, when I flip this mower over, the spark plug will be disconnected, so there shouldn't be any danger of it starting and cutting off several appendages. Here's the raked up pile of mulch that didn't make it into the bag. I just took the bag off the back of the mower, and let's see how much is in it. Nada. Not a dadgum thing. Did I mention that this is the first time I've used this bag? In case I didn't, it is. And there's one little thing that I forgot to trigger on the mower so that the chute would open, it would go into the bag. Have I also mentioned that this is a lab experiment? This whole experience here, everything that I'm doing, trying to learn from my mistakes. Just learned a bunch. There's quite a bit still under here, so we're going to knock all that out so we can collect it. I'll cut all this jute off my spindle. And then we're going to move up there. Here's where we are. These were the compost bins built back in December. The leaves, again, just want to remind you, were piled up to here. So there's been some compression and some decomposition that has happened in these two separate piles. The reason I had the plastic on there was because I was having trouble keeping it moist. I don't have a water hose that'll reach up this high. At least I didn't at that moment. So this was a solution to keep moisture and heat in here because there was not very much nitrogen, so it's kind of hard to keep it good temperature wise to create compost. That is going to change that. Let me give you a closer look at things. You can see only the top of this is really moist. One of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to lift up that layer. I'm going to wet what's underneath. I'm going to put the green stuff back in there and then fold that back over the top and soak it again. The post beside it, we'll uncover that. We'll look at that in just a moment. I've got some scraps left over from the big juicing event that happened this weekend. That my wife and a friend were doing to prepare for her post-cancer surgery. There's a video somewhere about all of that. If it's completed by the time I publish this one, I'll link it. If there's no link there, then you know it's forthcoming. It's been 5 days. All of that fresh produce scrap, the peels, the skins, the cores, the pulp, all that stuff has been sitting in a bucket for about 5 days. So it's kind of moldy, but we're going to dump that in here also. Our composting will speed up quite a bit if we ever venture into the livestock arena. Then we'll have some manure to help with this. This stuff that's at the very bottom and towards the back, it's really compacted. It's more like leaf mold than it is compost. The other thing that I've got to figure out is how much of my nutrients as this stuff is breaking down am I actually losing because it's just sitting on top of bare ground. And that's something I don't know, which just adds to the whole lab experiment here. Let me get some of this uncovered so I can wet it a little bit better there in the back. Wow, that's really dry back there. Really, really dry. That's never gonna decompose. Clearly, all my times of coming out here and turning this over, I try to turn it over a couple times a week and have since January, and we're now in the middle of July. I clearly was not turning it over very well because that is just bone dry there in the back. Clearly, I have not maintained this as well as I should have, as I've been stirring it up really deeply and wetting it down profusely with the water hose. I have discovered all kinds of insect life. Ants, mosquitoes, even a yellow jacket's nest is in here, and it's a wonder that I have not been eaten alive as a result. I'm going to leave this uncovered by the plastic probably for the better part of this week or for another week, so I can come out here at least every other day and give it a good turn and just wet it down some more. And it's gonna be harder work because I gotta drag a hose up here to make all that happen, but you gotta do what you gotta do. The other pile, I am gonna go ahead and uncover it and give it a good stir and do the same thing. This makes me want a worm bin sooner than later because I don't have livestock with which to add their droppings to speed this whole thing up. Lab, lab, lab. Thank you for sticking with me all the way to the end. Will you do me a favor? Will you go down below and give this thing a thumbs up? Give it a like, maybe even share it with someone who may be entertained by it as well. While you're down there, why don't you go ahead and subscribe so you can keep up with all of my attempts to turn this place into a suburban homestead. Above all else, always remember that the one who created you made you able to create also. So get out there and make it, grow it, and live it.